Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aviation Spotters podcast. I am your host, Colin, and today we have another big name in the world of plane spotting. So it is my pleasure to introduce from Fort Worth, Texas, the one, the only, Mr. Jacob Remmel. Jacob, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to come on here and talk on the Aviation Spotters podcast.
Yeah, it's fun to be on with you guys. It's awesome to kind of geek out and just talk about planes and all sorts of whatnot.
I completely agree with you, man. At least this is one place where all the av geeks can kind of get together and nerd out about stuff that other people think is weird.
Dude, you're so right.
All right, man. Well, let's jump in. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into spotting.
So, obviously, my name is Jacob Remmel. I am from Fort Worth, Texas. Some of you guys may know me as Texasafterburner on Instagram. I gotta say, the first time I got into spotting was 2013. I've loved aviation pretty much all my life. I've always had the desire to be a fighter pilot, but I've never really gotten into the photography aspect of it. So actually, about 2013, 2014, I decided I wanted to actually capture the moment legitly, and so I got a camera. I bought my first camera. It was a little point and shoot, and I decided I wanted to take it further. I created my Instagram to share my love and passion of aviation, and here I am today.
Awesome, man. So, are you born and raised in Fort Worth, also?
I was actually born in Arlington, Texas, which is just kind of south east of me. So yeah, I was born and raised pretty much in the area.
All that Texas humidity, huh?
Oh yeah, tell me about it, man. It makes, it's good vapor opportunities as well for these jets.
Oh, dude, I've seen some of your photos, and I mean, the F-35 vapes anywhere, but
Yep.
I love all the vapor you guys get. So, what do you consider your home airport then?
So I live about 10 minutes away from the Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base, Fort Worth. Also, Lockheed Martin is literally right across the street, so they use that runway together, and that's basically where I go all the time. I'd say that's my home airport, or I guess air base.
Yeah, that's pretty cool living right across the way from a military base. I mean, you just go step on your front lawn, like, oh look, there's the Israeli F-35, cool, and oh look,
Yep.
the Italian.
Yep.
What other hobbies do you have besides plane spotting?
Really, aviation photography is probably my biggest hobby. I like to do other things as well. I like to relax. I like to do things outdoors. I like to hike, four wheel, snowboard, ski, just other little things. That's pretty much it. I played soccer in high school for 4 years, and I used to be a very good swimmer as well during obviously my 4 years of high school until actually I got a really bad injury in that, so it actually just I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah, man, just that's pretty much it.
Oh man,
Nothing
sorry to
crazy.
hear about your injury, man. That must have kind of sucked back when. I mean, I was in the same boat back in 2007. I was playing basketball and tore my ACL, and I was only in seventh grade.
Yep,
It's not
I've
really.
tore mine as well. I did that in soccer. It's the most painful thing I think you can probably experience.
It is, and I was actually doing really well in the Little League baseball. Then I just couldn't recover from that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. So you said that you started out with the point and shoot. What other cameras have you used in the past, and what's your current setup like?
So I can't tell you what my point and shoot was. I think it was like just a regular Sony, but my first DSLR was a Nikon D5500. I got that back in 2015 as a Christmas gift from my parents and my grandparents. They kind of helped get me that, and
Hmm.
so that was my first DSLR. I've shot Nikon ever since. Actually, tragic story about that camera. I just lost it last year at the Oshkosh Air Show. It's actually a pretty
Oh, I
funny.
remember seeing about this. I
It,
remember this.
yeah, this is actually a pretty. I'll make it short and sweet, but this is actually a pretty funny story. So it was on that Wednesday night. The F-22 Raptor was about to go up to do its demonstration for the Twilight show, and I can't make this up. He takes off, and my shutter count dies. It just dies, and I mean the most. I mean I can't even explain it. The photo opportunities and just the scenery was unreal. But yeah, lost that camera last year, so I upgraded to a Nikon D750. I went full frame, and that's what I shoot now.
Yeah, I remember seeing your D750, I think at Aviation Nation, if I'm right in saying it was my first time seeing it out there.
Yeah, actually, I did. I had it out there.
And what lens do you use with your D750?
So I use a, Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter lens. It's the contemporary, not the sport, because the sport is like another $700. I don't know why.
You think about getting that 60 to 600 potentially?
I don't know. I mean, it's badass. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I think the next upgrade I'll do is I want to get a D850 or probably switch to a prime lens, maybe like a 400 millimeter prime or 500. That's my goal.
Yeah.
So
I know one guy uses a D850 and oh my god, his photos are incredible. Just the amount of detail in that camera. When I was going with the 5D Mark IV, I was looking at the D850 also. So I was really between the two with the 80 to 400 Nikon, the newer one, not the older one, which is terrible, but the newer Nikon one. And I just went with the Canon overall, and I haven't looked back.
yeah, no, the D850 is a fantastic camera. It's like 48 megapixels. It's just
Yeah,
nuts.
something insane like that.
Yeah, it's definitely the best Nikon camera on the market, in my opinion.
I agree. That's why I was between the two. Anyway, man, moving on. I think I want to know the answers to these, and if the people that follow you listen to the show,
Yep.
I think they're going to know these answers too, but I am going to ask them. All right, man. So, what is your favorite airport to spot at?
So my favorite airport to spot at, that's a good, I love spotting here at my hometown at the base, but also I love spotting at Nellis. I think every military AV geek can say that. It's going to the speedway, chilling by the side of the road and having all kinds of jets just flex towards you, man. I mean, nothing's better than that. I do have other places I'd like to spot, but yeah, I'd have to say my hometown here and Nellis would be a tie for number one.
And hometown meaning the Joint Reserve Base.
Yep,
Right?
yeah, Navy Fort Worth,
Yeah,
yep.
yep. And I'm pretty sure I know this answer as well because you have a tattoo of it on your arm. But what is your favorite airplane to spot?
I'm gonna have to say the Cessna 172. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The legendary Cessna 172.
I'm telling you, they need to make a Cessna demo team, man.
You know what? I think I should put that together. I have my pilot's license. Let's go.
Hey, I'm sure we could talk to the FAA about it. They would have an issue.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, they'll be fine with it.
But no, my favorite airplane obviously is the F-35. I am kind of biased because it's built literally right across the street from me, so I see it fly just about every single day. I have to say the reason why it's my favorite jet is because it's so unique and it has so many features that other planes don't. So it's the most powerful. It has the most powerful engine on it. 43,000 pounds of thrust. It can maneuver not like a Raptor, but almost like a Raptor. And it's undefeated. I forget its kill to death ratio, but actually it's lost once. I know that, but that was just that was pilot error. But no, it's a brilliant machine. So
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. We were on the short list for the F-35 to replace the A-10 out here, and we haven't got it. We weren't selected for it, which I'm okay
yeah.
with, obviously, because I love the A-10.
Yep.
I don't think the mission is ready to take over the A-10 just
Oh
yet.
no, I agree with you completely, and that's I get that question and I get that statement a lot. Like, well, the A10 is this, and the F-35 doesn't need to do it. I totally understand. The A10 is its own thing. It's air to ground specifically, and obviously the F-35 is air to ground. But no, man, I agree. The A10 it's a brilliant machine.
What is your favorite variant of the F-35? Including the international variants, because you spot them so much, I want to give you the international variants and the regular models as well.
Yeah, so you're right. There's actually the one interesting thing is the Aussie F-35s. They don't call them the F-35s. They call them the A-35s. It's pretty cool. So yeah, if you go over to Australia for any reason and you want to go spot over where the F-35s are, you'll say, "Are there any F-35s out here?" And you'll probably get corrected saying, "You mean the A-35s, right?" So that's something I learned. And Israel, they don't use F-35A because they have A models, so they actually call it the F-35I.
Just like all the other Israeli, like the F-15E Strike Eagles called the F-15I ROM. I know.
Yep, so that's what they do with the F-35. But no, my favorite model is the A model, probably because that's the only jet that's really spread its wings. Like, it has a full-on demonstration team. It's awesome, and shout out to Dojo. I mean, he totally set the bar to the highest, and he pushed that jet probably better than any pilot I've ever seen fly a demonstration, especially for its first year of being a demo team. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the A model.
Yeah, I agree with you on Dojo. Luckily, I was able to see him at Aviation Nation, but man, he killed it. And I can't wait to see Bayo when she finally gets on the scene out there, and I think she's gonna do just as well as Dojo did.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, Bayo, she's a first female solo demonstration pilot, and she's flying the F-35 for their official second year of the demonstration team. So that's huge.
Hopefully she goes up there and kicks some ass on the air show circuit. I can't wait to see her just work that F-35.
Just rage. What they say is you just get out and rage.
Send it. All right, man. This is gonna follow that one up. What is your least favorite airplane to spot?
Ooh, my least favorite airplane. Wow, that's I don't know if I can answer that question. I don't really have a least favorite. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can answer you that question. I like spotting all airplanes. I mean, if I were to say a plane that I don't like taking pictures of a lot, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't answer that question for you.
That's fair, and people that say, oh, he doesn't spot civilian, I have a picture of him at Nellis spotting a civilian airplane. I will post it on demand for anybody that asks for it, and I was there. I have photographic evidence of it, and I have witnesses.
I remember that. What was that, like 2 years ago?
It was March of 2019, because we just did our epic trip, and we spent the day at McCarran, and the weather turned to crap, and then we ran over to Nellis to get the Dutch KDC-10 landing. For
yep, that's right.
Because we were all going to the canyon the next day.
Oh yeah, that canyon trip, that was fun. That was dreadful.
That was fun. I actually almost fell in the canyon that trip too, which is also more terrifying.
Jeez.
But that's a story. That is a story for a different time. Speaking of the canyon, I think I know the answer to this one as well, but what's your favorite event and/or location outside of general airport spotting?
So, my favorite... ask that question again?
Yeah, so what is your favorite event and/or location to take photos at outside of general airport spotting?
Ooh, so just kind of like, I'd probably...
Like air shows are different off-airport locations and stuff like that.
Man, that's a good question. So, like, what would be, like, my favorite air show?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so obviously I have to say Oshkosh is definitely my favorite air show because there's just so much there. There's just such a different variety of airplanes. I mean, you have everything. You have military, you have warbird, civilian.
Cessna 172s.
You got freaking, yeah, man, you got everything. It's cool they throw a C5 in there, and that runway is so tiny. I don't know if you've been to Oshkosh, but whenever you see like a heavy landing, like a 747 or a C5 or C17, it literally just eats up the runway. It's awesome. I'd have to say that Nellis Air Force Base, that's definitely a good air show as well. We went there last year. That was a heck of a time to see or experience.
That was a great show.
But yeah, man, I'd have to say that. I'd have to say those are probably my top 2 favorite air shows to go to. Although I do want to go to Riyadh one day. Riyadh is on the bucket list.
Riyadh is absolutely on the bucket list as well. I actually skipped over this question. What is your favorite airplane of all time?
My favorite airplane of all time? That's a really good question. So, wow, that is a good question. So I grew up, before the F-35 was a thing, I loved the F-16. I was a huge F-16 Viper fan. I just loved it. I love the demo. It's such a badass jet. I do love the Raptor too. I don't know what my favorite all-time plane would be. I have to maybe just go with the F-35 and be kind of biased here again. But no, growing up before the F-35, I'd have to say the F-16 was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, now the F-16, we don't get them in Boise that much just because they don't have the internal ladder and we're not set up for an F-16. Yep. However, I've seen them plenty of times at Mountain Home Air Force Base. But I do love the F-16. It's just literally a dart with a pilot sitting out front of a gargantuan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a tiny jet, but it gets the job done. You know, you can make it look like a badass, and you can also make it you can strip it down and make it look so tiny, but it's also loud too. I think it's how many pounds of thrust it produces, like
Ooh, I don't know off the
28.
top
It's
of my
just
head.
it's a great jet.
And I mean, it has one B1 engine, as I was corrected by a B1 pilot, and it uses the same engines as the F-15 Strike
They
Eagle
do,
too,
and I was
which
gonna also say,
it's
sorry to interrupt, but
no, go
the
ahead.
F-14 actually, the F-14 is probably is a favorite for a lot of people out there, including my mother. She loved the F-14. I just wish I could have seen it fly more, but it retired whenever I was very young. So yeah, I heard the F-14 was definitely one of the loudest jets ever to fly. So
No, I completely agree. And shout out to your mom. I did meet her at Aviation Nation, and she is an amazing woman. And she's also an amazing photographer. I've seen some of her F-14 photos, and whoo, man, I wish I got
yeah,
into flying earlier as
I
well.
mean, and I got to give my credit to her. She got me into aviation. So she took me to my first air show whenever I was 2 years old. It was actually at the Fort Worth Alliance Air Show. I say that's my hometown air show, and it really is now because the base across the street, they don't hold air shows anymore. She took me to my first air show at Fort Worth Alliance whenever I was about 2 or 3 years old, and she said the only thing I did was just stare at the Blue Angels literally the entire time. She said I couldn't take my eyes off of them, so it was almost like it was just kind of meant to be. But yeah, I have to owe it all to her. She
Yeah,
did get me into all of this. Yeah, I mean she's great.
yeah, no, absolutely. Shout out Denise, you're amazing, and thanks for getting Jacob into this because he has an extreme talent for this sort of stuff. So, all right, man, let's give us a spotting story. Anything you want to share? Any type of story
Ooh,
like
a
that?
story. Let's see.
Yeah, story
Let's
time.
see. I already kind of shared my Oshkosh story. That's probably one of my saddest experiences ever. Although it was at an air show.
Yeah, and Colin in episode one also gave us the story to getting there also, so we heard that one as
Yeah,
well.
getting to Oshkosh. So we drove. It's about 16 hours north of Fort Worth, and I've driven there every single time, and it's a beautiful drive. Don't get me wrong, but boy, it's a hell of a drive. I don't really know. I mean, I'd say my craziest spotting time was probably I'd say last year. We drove all the way to Vegas. We went to the Yuma Air Show. This is all on the same trip. We drove to Yuma first to go to that air show. Then we drove to Vegas to go spot some red flag. Then we drove to Star Wars Canyon. So I mean, we basically drove across the whole United States. I mean, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember the Yuma show. I was texting you and Colin, and as soon as we were leaving, we got locked out of our hotel room with all of our camera
Yep,
gear
I
in there.
remember. Oh man, I remember that. Oh god.
Yeah, well, that was, and that trip for me too is since you guys drove cross country, me and my other two friends, we flew cross country. So, meaning that is, I'll give you this a short synopsis of what I had to go through. We left on Wednesday. Me from Boise, my friend from Seattle, and my friend from Salt Lake, and we all met up in North Carolina on Friday to be a part of the Prowler
Oh
Sundown.
yeah.
And after that, after the Sundown, we dropped my friend off at New Bern. He went through Charlotte on American. Then my buddy and I drove to Raleigh, Durham, where I went through Phoenix and he went through Atlanta. And we all re-met up in San Diego. We drove from San Diego to Yuma in the middle of the night. Like, we left the Prowler Sundown at 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we arrived in Yuma at 3 a.m. Pacific Time. We wake up, do breakfast, and we get locked out of our
Yeah, dude,
hotel
I
room.
remember that. I'll sit there, and then Colin, TX AV Geek, he was like, bro, he said, you know the other Colin, right? I was like, yeah. He said they just literally got locked out of their hotel room, and they can't get their camera gear. I'm like, what? And I was like, is there any way they can like break in, like break the window? And
We were actually that close to throwing a plastic chair through the window because they're like, oh yeah, the guy who knows how to work the key card operator doesn't want to work, and he's not working, and blah blah blah. And we're like, dude. Then my friend finally said, hey, my like heart medication's in there, and then the pace picked up a little bit, but we were close
yeah,
to breaking the window. And then after that, we immediately left the show, got on the plane, we drove back to San Diego, got on a plane, flew to Vegas, chilled in Vegas, did some spotting, met you guys, and went to the canyon for 3
yep.
days. Or 2 days, and then we did red flag, and then I flew home. That was our trip last year. As fun as it was, I never want to do it again.
No, God, dude, I couldn't even imagine what you were going through.
And it was just maddening. And that last day at Red Flag too. Granted, it was Strike Eagle Fest, which was
See, I'm so
fantastic.
jealous. I wanted to do that so bad.
Yeah, Strike Eagle Fest was great. The Singapore guys went up, so I got the Singapore guys again, and then Seymour Johnson guys went up, and the Saudis went
And
up.
see, that's the
Man,
thing.
that was a
I
good
gotta
day.
give credit. I love the F-15, by the the way. I love the F-15 and I love the Raptor. Those are probably my two favorite jets besides the F-35. I love seeing those things fly, and I hope they bring back like an F-15 demo team.
What is your preference on the F-15, the Strike Eagle or the
So
Legacy Eagle?
I am an air-to-air guy. I do like air-to-air fighters more. So I'm gonna have to go with the C, F-15C, just because it's a single seat, although they have the D model. But I love the F-15C
Yeah.
just because it's air-to-air, and it's more, I wouldn't say of a badass jet, but it's more, I guess, down and dirty, if you know what I mean. It plays more of like a fighter pilot role. Although the F-15E that's also, I mean, it's a beautiful jet as well. So
I will politely disagree with you on which Eagle is better.
yeah.
I think the Strike Eagle's better, but then
Yeah,
again, I'm a
yeah.
little bit biased. All
Let's
right,
do it.
man, let's wrap it up. Do you have any tips, words of encouragement, or
See,
anything else you want to add?
So I get this question a lot, almost every other day, about how to succeed on Instagram, how to be a good photographer, and what camera gear to buy. I say follow your heart, follow your dreams, and do whatever you can to get your word out and get your name out there, because that helps you it almost helps you build a career, and it helps you build a base off of who you are. So I have to say, just follow your heart, and you got to be committed. Commitment is a huge thing, because no one's going to want to see someone that, they go out and take pictures and they don't care about it. They're just like, yeah, whatever. And you got to stay positive. You got to stay positive. I'd say that's the biggest encouragement I could give to someone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just follow your heart. Don't let anyone tell you different. That's what I have to say.
I agree with you on that. That's really well said and really well put. Follow your heart, follow your gut, and don't take no for an answer. Just keep persevering and push through it.
Exactly, and
you
you'll
will
get, and
succeed.
especially with me, because the F-35 it's people don't like it. I'd say it has a lot of hate towards it. So at the beginning, whenever I was like, yeah, the F-35 is my favorite jet, it was hard to kind of build my Instagram off of the F-35, just because a lot of people just didn't like it. And I just kept throwing up my pictures, and they started reaching bigger names, bigger accounts, and then I started getting followers, and that's all I have to say, man. You just gotta be positive about it. Follow your dreams, and just stay committed.
I agree, man. With the F-35, just real quick, is I was skeptical about it when it first came out. I've seen it, I learned about it, and I think it's an amazing airplane. Is it an A-10 replacement?
I don't either.
I
I
personally
agree.
don't think so, but it is an amazing technological piece of engineering, and especially with your Instagram, you're the first one to see these international models and these new models, so you also have a leg up on that too. I just want to add that I've seen, when I first met you in 2018 and seeing your work from then and up to now to this day, you have vastly improved, and you have taken some absolutely astonishing shots that I actually have saved so I can actually see later on. But you have come a long ways in these past couple of years, and you are an amazing photographer, man. And don't give up on your dream of being a fighter pilot, man. I'm in that same boat with you. I'm trying to take all my stuff so I can get there and do that. But anyway, where can we find your work? Flickr,
So
Instagram, Facebook,
obviously
that
my
sort of stuff?
biggest platform is Instagram, at Texasafterburner. Give me a follow there. Also, I am on Facebook. My first and last name, it's Jacob Remmel Photography. You can find me on there as well. Yeah, I'd say also I'm on TikTok now, because I know TikTok's like the
What?
new, it's the new trend. It's a new social media platform. I post a lot of my videos on there, and I'm actually doing pretty good on it. So just Texas Afterburner, Instagram, TikTok, also Twitter as well, and Facebook is Jacob Remmel Photography.
Cool, man. And you have Twitter too, right?
I do, yeah. It's the same thing. Actually, my Twitter is TX_Afterburner. That used to be my name actually before it was full Texas Afterburner. But if you type in Texas Afterburner, you'll definitely find me.
Cool, man. And I know you don't upload to airliners or jet photos, so
I don't. I've tried airliners.net once, and they actually denied one of my photos because it had a death spot in it that I didn't see, that I don't think anyone else would have saw. But they
yeah.
look for that kind of small detail. So
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one. Anyway, man, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. And those are some great words that you said. Anyway, guys, I want to wrap it up here as well. As always, send me those profiles for the smaller guys. I have finally got some responses, and hopefully we'll put them on the show here very soon. Really looking forward to doing an interview with them. Hope you guys enjoy that as well. AvSpottersPodcast at gmail.com. Send me those profiles. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at BOISpotter. Send me those profiles. And that's going to do it for me. Jacob, anything else to add?
just kind of what I was saying earlier, just follow your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you no. and try to be the best person for yourself and for others.
All right, man. On that note, keep those batteries charged and those cameras ready, and we'll catch you next time here on the Aviation Spotters podcast.
See ya.